Okay, I'm just playing some moon videos through and listening to George Galloway. He's interviewing this guy, Bryce Green. And I like this guy, Bryce Green. He seems like a nice guy. And I just heard him for the first time a couple hours ago. And I wanted to catch up on some of these videos anyway. So I figured I'd play them through.
Yeah, they're open to the possibility that bears defecate in the woods and that the Pope might be a Catholic also. Now, you had a narrow escape, Bryce, from a big white Chinese weather balloon, and the President reviewed the State of the Union. How is the State of the Union this morning?
I got to be perfectly honest. I didn't even watch Biden's State of the Union, mostly because I don't find those talks to be especially useful. They're usually trying to rally Americans behind some vague foreign threat. And in this case, the threat was China. In fact, I did see a headline that said that Biden believes that fighting China will unite us all, and that that's the cure to America's polarization problem. Uh, and part of this whole spectacle of the balloon was a way to sort of crystallize American public opinion against China. Now, there are all sorts of questions about how this balloon got as far as it did. There are reports that similar balloons have actually appeared over the United States. I believe it was three during the Trump administration, but no one really made a big deal about it. And they made a big deal about this one. You know, they sent a warplane to shoot it out of the sky. And one of the troubling things about this is,
yeah.
yeah, an F-22. One of the troubling things about this is that we learned, I can't remember the paper that reported this, but we learned that China had refused a call from the Pentagon after the downing of this balloon. Well, that's interesting, but why did the U.S. only try to call after the downing of the balloon? Why did they not call before? Why did they not try and, do diplomacy like adults do, like serious countries do? Instead, they shot first and asked questions later. And apparently, China didn't really take kindly to that, and they rejected calls from the United States. And so this is all part of this, both this balloon and the Nord Stream pipeline and the proxy war in Ukraine. All of this is part of the new Cold War, in which America, a failing empire, tries to assert its dominance in the world against the rising global South, against the rising BRICS bloc. And part of the way they do that is by mobilizing their populations to accept greater tensions with China. And you see it in the military planning. I mean, there were just war games. High level generals and the big imperial planners. They got together and they gamed out what would happen in the event of a Chinese attack on Taiwan. Something that would only happen if the U.S. continued doing what it's doing now. And the results weren't very they weren't very kind to the United States. And the results of those gains were that they recommended having new bases, new missile placements, new troop placements in Japan and the Philippines. And well, if you look over the last couple weeks, that's exactly what the U.S. is starting to do. And the sad part is that in the Western media, you always see this framed as the U.S. opens military bases with the aim of countering China's aggression. Well, I mean, if you look at a map of all the U.S. military bases and how close they are to China, a serious person would laugh at the suggestion of quote unquote Chinese aggression. I mean, it's laughable. It hardly even merits a response. But this is the state of American media. This is the state of American political discourse. And there is no one in a high position of authority that's even challenging this. There's no one who's saying, maybe we shouldn't try to start a war with the entire rest of the world. Maybe we should try and seek a serious solution to our problems with China, a serious solution to our problems with Russia. The progressive Democrats in the U.S. Congress, you might remember this, they actually caught an enormous amount of flack for releasing a letter that it was the mildest, most tepid of calls for diplomacy. It wasn't even a call to end the massive amounts of aid that we're sending to Ukraine. It wasn't a call to refocus American funds to the domestic front. It wasn't a call to do anything different with American empire. It was a call to maybe think about talking about diplomacy. And they all disavowed it. They said that this isn't us. Oh, we would never say such a thing. We would never question the wisdom of a Ukrainian proxy war. And so that's the state of the left right now. No, not one person. Well, actually, one person did come out and say that they stood by the letter, and that's Ro Khanna. Good for him. We have one guy, but that's the state that we're working with. And talking about these things, talking about the absurdity of balloon, talking about the complicity of the U.S. in the Nord Stream pipeline, and talking about the insanity of this proxy war that could lead us to nuclear war is the first step to educating the public to the point where they can actually credibly oppose these policies from their government. You can't oppose something if you don't know it exists. And if you watch the American media, you don't know it exists. And that's why we have, alternative media. People like you, like all of the anti-war voices that are marginalized in Western media. That's what makes it so important.
Bryce Green, you are the LeBron James of the broadcasting world, and thank you for these slam dunks on the mother of all talk shows.
Is that it? That was it. So let's go back to George. Let's see what else George got. So he's got Tremors. Okay, this is good too, but I don't know if he talks about the way that I was talking about it, but let's find out. Okay.
Series of earthquakes, and for more than a decade. First, they were hit by a wave of foreign jihadists, waiters from Cardiff, warehousemen from Walthamstow, from all over Europe and North America. They came. They came to cut throats and chop heads off, and to murder aid workers and priests and even bishops, all to destroy the secular republic of the Syrian Arab Republic. And the West aided and abetted all of it. They gave the knives to the throat cutters. They gave them even more deadly weapons than that. And they gave them money, and they gave them Toyota pickup trucks. They did everything they could to destroy Syria. And when the Syrian Arab army began to prevail, they launched their own cruise missiles and their rockets from onboard ships and from air and land. They bombarded Syria almost round the clock. Indeed, Syria continues to be bombed almost round the clock by Israel, supported by Western countries and armed by those Western countries. And when that didn't work, they imposed a set of economic...
Okay, this is someone else's moon video. I've never been to it, but I can see so far it looks like it's real. But I don't think they're showing you what I'm trying to show you. So, anyways, in the background we got Clayton Morris.
Well, the deep state certainly doesn't like our coverage of what's been going on in Haiti. Now, earlier this week, for some context here, we reported that the Canadian military started deploying aircraft over Haiti. This mission, it said, was done in collaboration with the Haitian National Police to, quote, disrupt gangs. We also showed you a few days ago that multiple mainstream media outlets suddenly decided to descend on Haiti. They totally ignored the story up until just this past week. They descended on Haiti in an attempt to try to get an interview with Jimmy Cherizier, the leader of the G9 Federation. And then after they got these interviews, they smeared him as a gang leader. They also ignored the other actual gangs fomenting violence in Haiti. With that said, then the exact language of the Canadian government was used in these articles. So with all of that to say, we've now uncovered a third element of this attempt to manufacture consent for the foreign invasion of Haiti. Joining me now is Washington correspondent for Redacted, Dan Cohen. Dan, this is unbelievable. So you noticed something crazy that started unfolding on social media over the past few days. What did you find?
Well, after our last report that we filmed earlier this week on the Canadian military flying this warplane over Haiti, I started to see kind of suspicious accounts commenting and saying, "Oh, this is completely fake. These guys are lying." And so I started digging in, and what I found is an obvious troll farm. So I want to take you through exactly how this troll farm operates. So if we look at this tweet, this is actually linking to our interview, our piece on YouTube, this redacted piece that we published, and it says in French, for all those who are not in Haiti, the consensus in the streets of Port-au-Prince is that of contentment with the Canadian military aircraft providing overflight and surveillance.
Oh, so
And
they
then
love it.
someone
They love the
Yeah.
idea that Canada is there. Okay, sure, okay.
Yeah, Haitians, according to this one Twitter account with that's brand new and has this extremely high quality professional photo of a young, beautiful Haitian or black person. That's what we're getting. And then the comment in reaction is another troll says this channel only misinforms is just clickbait. It has already been verified with previous videos, so they don't like our previous reporting either. Hopefully there will be a military force sent to Haiti to help with security. Hashtag aid Haiti, which is one of the hashtags they've been using. So if you look at these accounts, they are retweeted by each other. They're brand new, all started in January 2023, and they all, again, have these highly professional, high quality photos of young black people, and all retweet each other.
So they're
Okay?
all tweeting each other in these accounts just started. And it's so curious the timing of this. This troll farm starts right as these mainstream media outlets are trying to get interviews. So suddenly the Associated Press, Sky News, Al Jazeera all descend on Haiti right around the same.
I'm gonna save this moon video because there was something strange going on there. It was just going in one direction. Now it's going in another, a little bit different of a direction. So I don't know if he's pausing the camera and then he's restarting it. Maybe. He's definitely not turning it. He's not doing 360s on there. Of course, who would be other than me doing 360s on a telescope? It doesn't make any sense to most people. But the imagery is fucking banging. I mean, the image is really good. I could take the camera off right now, and his video of his moon is more clear than mine is, and it is the real moon. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna save this one. It says Celestron next star 8SE full moon Marubit Victoria Australia, because that was my other main thing. Why is it moving so slow? You know why? Because my moon where I am in Massachusetts, the moon is through my camera, and I don't know. I never timed it. A few minutes, 1.5 to 3 minutes usually. But I do get different times depending on where the moon is running in my sky. If it's right above my head compared to over my neighbor's house, and so on and so forth. So definitely, but the image in here is really good. I don't know who this person is who posted this. This is a moon video that somebody posted on. I'm gonna pause it. Turn these guys back on.
Same time that these troll farm accounts begin, and the United Nations retakes its move towards bringing in some sort of invasionary force inside of Haiti. All of these things transpire at the same time.
And it gets even better, Clayton. So then, this was not only was this troll farm created, and the mainstream media descended on Jimmy Cherizier, forcing their way into his neighborhood and demanding an interview because he's such a dangerous gang leader, as evidenced by their behavior. But also, this happened.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So his telescope's better. He probably don't have dirty equipment like me and all that. But notice this one over here. I was pointing this one out a couple weeks ago. I was giving you guys the top one, this guy. I'm right at his chin. I'm at his chin right now with my cropping tool. I'm trying to crop his chin so you can see his mouth, his nose, triangular looking eyes. He's got this coming down his forehead area. Humans of color, humans of different nationalities is what I was going for on the day that I was doing that. And then, okay, so that's him, his mouth there. Then right below him is this one, this guy. I'm going to try to crop both ways for you. See his face? Eye, nose, and mouth. Then you got the larger one using the same eyes from that other guy. Here's his chin. And then it comes down to, then you got these ones. You start getting down to all these. You can see all these, I'm sure. Anybody looking? I'm stretching over the table to make this happen. Let's see. Yeah, it's really clear. It's very clear. So I can fuck around. I can keep coming around on the moon video, but anybody that's coming to my videos, it's a good idea to do this. I mean, this is somebody, whoever this is, hopefully it's not NASA, because I'm going to show it to you. So, Celestron, Nexstar, 8SE, full moon, Marubit, Victoria, Australia, is what it says. And maybe someone showing off their telescope or something. They don't realize what it is I'm showing you. I mean, at every fucking angle, it's unbelievable. And crop them. And it looks like it's a full moon too, which is also pretty fucking cool. So my the cigarette guy that I was just talking about, I think it was in the last video. I cropped him for you. So remember, crop his eyes right under these big black dark areas, which those big dark areas are amazing too. There's so many images within images. And then we're going to find his eyes right under these set of glasses. So I'm going to come down. There you go. And also, by the way, too, his telescope, this dude's using a standard telescope. I use a reverse telescope. So that's something else, too, to keep in mind. So let's find my guy with the... So here's the smoking apparatus. So there's other images that are within those images, so you might be catching some of those. I'm looking for the one that's way up here, but because he uses the standard telescope, I'm looking... There we go. So, his eyes... Oh, is that the right one? No, it's still not the right one, but I'll show them to you anyways while I'm here. This is the nice thing about going back and forth, too. Standard telescope. Okay, those dark areas over here, so I'm off. The guy's pupils that I'm looking for, the image of the man, his eyes are going to be under here. So I'm not even going to look for him at the moment because I just found this one that I'll show you in the same area. So because you can see this better from this angle in a standard telescope, I get the wrong lights and shadows when it's on a reverse telescope, but I'm sure you see the eye. The other eye is going to be over here. The nose, using that nose. You know, think about all these parts that are being used on other images. And then his mouth is open. And he's got something coming out of his mouth, but it doesn't look like... It is the same smoking apparatus, but it does not look like a smoking apparatus in this direction. So right here is the smoking apparatus that was coming out of the mouth of what we call the man on the moon. This might be the one at this angle in this standard telescope, might be the one that they call the man on the moon, actually. It might just be this area, but they don't include all of this down here like I'm telling you. They certainly don't include any hairdos or anything like that. Or they're giving you this one with the eye, nose, and mouth, which to me looks like it goes more canine in a lot of directions. But then I'm going to pull back to here. I'm going to crop again, and I'll give you large eye that matches this eye over here as well, which uses this nose in the middle and a mouth down here too. I'll try to crop them the opposite direction. So I'm gonna have a hard time showing you that one. It's all right. And then my guy. Let's see for my. So I guess I'll see him better at this angle when he's in a standard telescope. I think because, again, yeah, see his eye falls over here and over here. And that's still not the one that I want. Because his face is fatter and the one that I want. Let me try to angle him this way. And I'm also losing, on the standard telescope, the bigness of his lips. I want his lips to stay puffy when he has this smoking apparatus coming out of his mouth. I'm going to have to go to one of my full moons. Is that him? Yeah, okay. I guess that gets him too. So maybe I'm just not down far enough too. So I might have the right angle side to side, but up and down. Because that's back to looking like the smoking apparatus. Alright, anyways. Go back here. So I'm going to play his video through. Like I say, he's not going and doing 360s, but I could certainly just do that right here. If he's got a nice clear standard telescope moon photo or video. It does look like it's a video, but it's just funny how Australia, how much slower the moon moves through the camera. 11, 10. But that would, even on the south, let's see, even if you went to the, so if you went to the north, it would go through fast, but in the south, it would go slower at certain times a year. I mean, it does speed up in the telescope at certain times a year. I'm not denying that. So it'll be 1.5 minutes to get through my telescope at one time a year. Also, how zoomed you are on it will depend on how fast it goes through your telescope, of course. Because if I got the telescope real tight on it, then of course it's going to take a while. I gotta put a swivel on the camera here if I'm gonna do this, and I think I'm going to. So I really like it.
Right after the Canadian and Haitian governments had signed a memorandum of understanding to ramp up their collaboration. So this troll account's first tweet is actually praising the signing of the MOU, saying, "Thank you, Lord, and thank you, Canada. Hashtag stopping violence, Haiti," and tagging the Haitian National Police. So that happened on January 18th, and then a couple days later, that tweet goes out. So one clue actually gives there's some evidence of who is running this operation, because of course that's the big question, right?
Right.
If we look at this account, Esther Islan Germain has 5 followers. I'm sorry, following 5 people. It has one single follower. And it was created on January 17th, right before that memorandum of understanding was signed. And the only person it follows is a man named David Kazansky. David Kazansky is the CEO of a private military security firm called Incas. And so this private military firm is based in Toronto, and it is actually the military firm that sold and delivered armored vehicles to Haiti back in October of 2022.
Okay, there's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with this, what's going on here. Let me pause both of these again. When I start the video, the moon's moving off in this direction, up to the right. Then, as it's going along, it barely clicks, and then it's going up little more straight up and to the left. And then a few seconds later, it's going off that way. And then it's going off the. Now, the only way that that should be happening is if he was doing 360s with his camera on his telescope. And that's not happening. This area is staying down here. It's not up here and then over here and then over. He's not moving his camera around the way that I do. And then now I'm watching it now and it's coming down through the camera. It's coming down. That should not be. This is something wrong with this. I don't know what yet. You find fraud. Every time you watch anything, you find it's going to be fucking fraudulent. Before I get myself too aggravated, let me do this. Let's start back over here. Make sure that I'm right first. Let's see. If I'm right about this, then I'm going to be fucking pissed. Let me see. So it starts out. Yes. I am right about it. It's going up through the screen. And notice this area, right, where it is. I mean, I got the camera all twisted up right now because I purposely doing that. And I'm telling you that I'm doing it. But so when I'm saying down here, I'm actually pointing down here. All right. So remember where this area is. Right now the moon is traveling up and looks like to the right a little bit of his camera. And I understand pausing. If he pauses, and I'm trying to think, so if he pauses and he would have to turn his camera upside down and that would show. Then this would be up this way. I'm trying to think of any other way that would happen. Like if the moon was right above his head and he paused and then turned the camera the opposite direction, that would explain that one. But it doesn't explain, and I don't even know that he could, where, is that what he's claiming? That the moon is, that would also explain why the moon is going so slow too, because if it was right above his head at the time he was filming, it would be going faster. But if it was off in the distance, it would be slower. Then you would not be able to angle your telescope the way that I'm talking about. You would have no choice but to do 360s on your telescope in order to make the effect that's happening right now happen. So something else is going on here. This is either a photograph that's been cut out and is going through the screen, or there's something else going on here. And you know what? I think that's what it is. That is what it is. This is a fucking photograph that's going through the screen. I'm looking at the edges right now of the moon, and that's not what we should be seeing, even with a fancy telescope. Yep. So this just popped up on YouTube. I like the photo. I mean, it's a good photo of the moon. It really is. I mean, I can go grab all the imagery out of there and confirm with you that, you know, it is the proper moon photo. But I'm starting to... It's a good one, too. And it's in movement. And I'm able to get this clear of a shot when it's in movement. I have to pause my video in order to get it this good. I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it being so slow, but it is a very good moon photo taken with a forward standard telescope. I always call it a forward telescope. But yeah, the imagery is great. I'll be able to extract everything out of this. I'm still going to save it, but I am going to laugh at it because I'll look into it a little more. But yes, this is a cutout. Almost positive they cut the moon out and pasted it in the night sky. Yeah, I'll be able to prove it to myself. I'll keep looking at it, but I'm not gonna waste my time making videos on it. I'll not as a video anyways, just as a photograph that somebody fucked with, which really I can just do. I got a whole bunch of those. I upload those all the time, download them. I mean, all right. Hold on a minute. Okay, this is pretty cool. So I found this one. This is another guy. He's got one posted. It says 2523 for a date. It says 2/5/23 moon up close, but the video was just posted a few days ago. It's got 50 something views on it or something like that. Not much, it's strange, small amount of views, and it is real. It is the an actual. It appears to be, anyways. And you'll see what I'm saying about around the edges and what it looks like when using a real telescope. Now he doesn't see what it is I'm showing you people. It's full of imagery in here. The imagery stays the same. That's another incredible thing. All right. So right here where he is, it's easy to identify where he is by these areas here. So you see my mouse moving around. See these dark areas that I was saying in the earlier video that I believe humans are the cause of the darkness of these areas because we break the connection. We have a lot of bio going on in these areas living here on the earth, and we're breaking the connection because there is a connection that comes down and it actually goes through the earth and back out the other side to another, what we would call another moon, but it's actually the same moon because it's the same connection. Because the moon is not what we're told it is. But anyways, back to this. In order to be able to see it, what it is I'm telling you, rather than just listening to my words. I see it all in here. You can see all the faces. So look at all the faces, right? So what you can do is you can take a photograph, any photograph of the moon that you want, and you can do the same thing. Take a magnifying glass, right? And use the magnifying glass on a piece of paper, on a photograph copy of the picture of the moon, and you use this area right here. You go right to the same exact area that this guy's in with his telescope, right? And you're going to pull up these same images that I'm about to show you now. Because when I press play, I already know all these images that are in here. And he gets in on them pretty damn good. You have to zoom in on them though. But my point is that you're going to see the same images, memorizing these areas. I'm going to press play. I'm going to try to pause again. Okay, boom. Okay. So right in here, all these areas, I've been bringing you in on these areas, but I'm way the hell out. I'm pulled back because I'm trying to show you the fuller images, the larger ones, but you can go in on the smaller ones anytime you want. You can do that with photographs or videos. So like right now, this guy's in here, just like I'm showing you with the clouds, just no one looks. No one looks. But you have an eye, nose right here. You can see the nostrils of this face right here. You can see his ear clearly. It looks like he's got a little bit of hairdo going on and stuff like that coming down around his ears even. So you can see his hairdo. His nose looks wide, like he has a wide nose. I would almost put him in the feline category with the nose, except for, the way the ear is shaped and stuff like that. Because it looks like the ear goes like this. And then you can see what's going to be one of its mouths. I'm sure I'll have image within image, so it'll be another mouth. And then right above him, another larger nose with these lips right here. You got that one. Then over here you have eye, nose, mouth down here of that face. Then over here you have eye, which looks like a bird beak. This goes back to what my son was saying the other day. If others were looking, I'm confident that I'm not going to find. There's 3 places on the moon that I think I see bird beaks at different times, and this is one of them. And I can come back to these areas anytime I want and look in on them and stuff. And it's hard for me to determine. As a matter of fact, there's a better bird beak even than that. But if you want to say something looks like a bird beak, I mean, that beak would go with this lower beak, which would go with this eye here to give you this bird face, if that's what that is. But again, others can come into it. Okay, so the same area, you got this lion face here with the eye here, lion type nose, and same thing with the mouth. Now, it could get him to go human if I change the angle. He's looking off opposite direction. I'm pointing right into him. He's looking up my stick right now. I'm going to put my stick on his nose. That's him right there with his mouth right here of that one. And looks like he's even got some lion ears going on up there and stuff. I could crop all these. And then he widens to use this same eye with this eye over here, with this large eye, to make this very large face, image within image within image from the veil to the ground. So all the imagery is all here. I know this is the proper imagery of the moon. Oh yeah, here's the rest of his mouth going back like this too. So we go from feline, we can cut him off, and then he goes canine, and then you got another canine, human here. It's a human, not a canine. Eye, nose, this down here, and it looks like a little bit of a frowny puss going on of that one. Now I can crop these images and make it a little bit better for you, so you'll see them a little better. See that one? Actually, the large one's even better, the human. The original ones that I was looking at. And then we can go into the next one. And then I can go like this and get you that one. Then we can go like that. I can get you these ones. Look at this one coming in good now. Eye, nose, mouth down here. I can get him in good. And it doesn't look like he's at the ideal angle for the other images that I could pull you in on him. And then look at this one. That one's pretty full and at this angle, and he's pretty full and everything's there. So eye, nose, mouth of an obvious human. If I wanted to crop him this way, I get that one, okay? I'll try to crop him with my little stick. See his face? Okay, and then, yeah, so eye, nose, and mouth of that one. The next one. And so on and so forth, and up and down and left and right and all that kind of shit. So anyways, let's check this guy's moon out. So it's good to see that some moon videos are out. It's an old moon video. He just posted it recently. So what I'm trying to say is all these dark areas right here, you can take this guy's video right here, take the moon photographs that you can download for free from anybody's thing. Just download them and put them side by side, and on this one, use your camera phone like I'm doing now to use as a viewing device in order to look in at the images. Then use your same phone, since you got it in your hand anyway, and you can do that. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. I'm glad that some other people are finally putting some real moon videos up, because it was really hard last time when I was doing the last series that I really went looking hard for moon videos was Harold Koch series, or was it after? I think it was during the Harold Koch series when I was looking around and I'm like, wow, this is strange. Just average people. There are no average people. They're all some psyop companies. But as you can see, there are some bullshitters out there too, because that other one does not look real to me. This one even does, and you would think not, because see, I don't see a lot going on around there either, but I want to see a little bit of, see how the camera's bouncing a little bit, and you see how we're getting some glare starting to come in here and there. He's in deep, so he's not going to get too much glare, but watch what happens as we go along. I could be mistaken. It could be shit too. It could be fake. But let me try. I'm trying to pause the fucking thing, but my camera's so damn slow. Yeah, let me go back. There it is. Okay. So see this glowing sensation that happens here at the end when you let it go light to light. You know, that's what I always try to do, is let it go light to light. Now there are all those square pixels that I'm telling you about that are over here, all on the screen over here. But I'm not going to get them confused with triangular pixels. There's actually a way, when you look right here, this is going to be weird to you, and I don't know if I should do it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can. And I can do it with his videos too. With somebody else's videos other than mine. How many minutes are on this thing? 39 minutes. Okay, so there's something pretty cool that happens. All right, so all in here, there are images being done with the square pixels, because the pixels have no choice but to follow the light. So whatever the light and shadows are doing, the camera. So I see square pixel images in this computer, okay, in this monitor. I can bring you in and show them to you. I think I can anyways. I'm pretty sure I can show them. You can see them yourself anyway if you do what I'm doing. And if you look closely at what you're going to see eye, nose, mouth. But I'm not impressed with it. It looks like Legos. It looks human influence to me. It's all square pixels. But when I come over here, and I get near this light right here, I start seeing all the triangular pixels. Now I'm still in the darkness of the night. This is still the dark of night, right? So here's all I'm doing is I'm using the moon's light, the light that's bouncing off the moon now in my telescope to shine it back into the night sky. Is all that's happening here. Now, beyond the night sky, according to your heliocentric model, which we know can be blown out of the water by any of these things that I'm showing you guys on my channels. I mean, it's all stupid. You cannot go along with that shit anymore. So, square pixels, human influence. Over here, we get to some reality if we look at it for what it is. Because right here, if I look right along here, I can extract the imagery from here, from the light from the moon bouncing into this night sky, and I can extract the imagery from there. I'll just leave it at that. And then you decide what that means. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to want to pull some light in with my camera. I'm going to find my angles. Look for my colors and angles. And I'm looking for, as I'm doing this, I'm looking for the triangular shapes because I don't want to go too far out where I lose my light and see how I end up with square pixels over there. See how the pixels all start turning square? You can see them. Square pixels. I'm going to angle and pull some more light into the camera so you can see them. So they're way over there in the night sky. Now that means to me that I'm no longer seeing the night sky. What I'm seeing is a monitor. I'm seeing a human influence in the monitor from all the square pixels. So I'm not even going to bother with them. It doesn't mean that those images are not really there, because they are. What it means is that I'm not going to be able to see them with my human eyes because it's too dark over there. So the only thing is I'm pulling in light from the moon. On this computer monitor, I lose that, except for in the camera like this, right? So I'm pulling it in with the camera. So right now, I'm saying in order to get there. But in the night sky, I cannot do that. You're not able to do that in the night sky. So again, square pixels over there. But when I get over here to the edge and I start extracting the imagery, I'm going to stretch my cord a little bit here. Let me see. Okay. Now we can start seeing triangular pixels. I'm looking right now for okay. So eyes, nostrils, mouths. Look at all the triangular shapes that are making up those images. There's no way I can do everything at once. I can't pull out my pointer right now. But I can see the images going down along the night sky, and I see the triangular pixels, the true creators, builders, and I see the evidence of them in this line. And this line is full of faces. So because I got the camera locked, I might be able to also do this. Let's see, where am I going to pull my light in from? And I see a lot of triangular. I'm trying to go in tight on the line, but I'm going to go in even a little further because I see other triangular. Let me see if I can point at some shit. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually. All right, so a lot of these faces, like I'm going to try to get you a large one. I'm going to try to pull them in here for you. Too many square pixels. All right, so I'm not going to bother. I see triangular pixels in there, but I also see a lot of square pixels, and I don't want to confuse anybody because, you can't get confused between what you're going to see in the monitor. I see triangular pixels too, don't get me wrong, but I also see all around it too many square pixels. Now, don't get me wrong, this is the true creator's work that's back here, but it's covered by these square pixels, so I don't want to use the claim to you that what you're looking at is the true creator's work, because actually the imagery is forcibly there because we're in the true creator's system. It's all around us. We're inside of it. It's inside of us. It doesn't see up, down, left, right, in and out, backward, forward. It doesn't see those things. So therefore, when I'm trying to pull you in tight over here, I can actually show you images that don't contain any square pixels. As soon as I start coming in here and I start going further into the dark, I see big squares everywhere and stuff. And I know that, you know, I don't want to confuse you. So if that makes any sense to anybody at all, then it does. If not, don't worry about it. Anyways, these videos might not even fucking make it up anyway. The other two did though. So I had two that were uploading and they did go up. So I don't know. Trying to figure out what it is that happened. All right, so here's this guy's close-up moon video. And he's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. At least it's not a photograph being moved around. The one in Australia, maybe it is real. I don't know. I'll have to go look at it a little bit better. This one, all around the edges, though, looks right to me. It doesn't look like a photograph. I've seen other people do photographs, you know. I see a little bit of bending, something that's happening up on the top, but I don't want to make too much of it.
And those armored vehicles were actually used to attack the G9 blockade on the fuel terminal, which, you know, we redacted actually went and reported on from the ground.
Yeah, that's good.
And
He's
then
really good.
later,
It's beautiful.
in January, the Canadian government delivered another